All right. Amy Gonzalez is first. Right by effing 57. Cleo. Is that like Miss Cleo, like Psychic Friends? John Denicola. Torgi. Paul Pence. Eduardo Orantes. Cloud Gangster. Paul Pence. Mimi. What's up, everybody? Bam, 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 bam. Sonia G, is that Sonia? Is that the same Sonia that was that works at the massage parlor in Universal City over by City Walk in Los Angeles? Central Texas Browncoat, what's up? KGB, what's up? Exposing corruption, judge of all levels, eyes all around. What's up, you guys? Paul R. Princess, Shona Macaroni, Southeast Soda. What's up, you guys? All right, freaking media. Freaking media's here. Everybody act right. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. All right. We are I'm gonna text some people, let them know I'm live because they're not that big of fans. Just kidding. Live now, main channel. All right. All right, kids. All right, kids. All right, you guys. If I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news here in the last day, of what the heck is going on. Steve Heath, no, not Farmington, New Mexico. Even worse. Freaking media, Johnny 50 gets all the credit for my channel for a long name, shaming me. LOL. What was your name before? It wasn't like friggin' media, Michigan Crusade. Like it was a lot of words, lot of syllables. Yeah, Romer. Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna be going live here more on the Cop Watch stuff, more frequently. I've been all right. Who asked? Judge of all levels. What's up? Lenny Conahan, framers write independent citizen news. No. I have one word. No. Picture that on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Listen, the manager for the band, Yes, right? The progressive rock band from the 60s and 70s and still in some sort of going on today, was like, dude, if you have the words yes on a banner, like, you know, and he talks about, he goes, the amazing Thunderbirds, the point size on the font is gonna, you know what I mean? When you have the word yes, it's right there front and center. So that's where I also get that from as well. So all right, so let's see, let's share invite. This is going to be this is for guests. There is a green room. You can't just pop in. This is going to be for those people that have been texted. So if you have not been texted saying, hey, I'm live now, you probably not going to get in, which means 100% not going to. I'm just trying to where are the cute doggies? The cute doggies are here out and about. Poppy was at a cancer vet today. Don't even get me started there. She's got a huge thing. She needs another surgery. She had one 2 years ago. She needs an additional surgery on recurring skin cancer. She has a knot on her. I'll show it to you later. It's ugly, and so yeah, I was at the cancer vet. Yes, of course, Los Angeles has a cancer vet. Well, of course they do. Pretty much. All right, you guys. So let's start off with a video. Let's start off with a 5-minute video from my baby daddy, aka James Freeman, that he just published probably about 40 minutes ago or so. 45 minutes ago. So let's check this out. So this takes place in McCurtain. No coincidence there. McCurtain, Oklahoma, which is not the end of the world, but apparently you can see it from there. In the southeast corner of Oklahoma, bordering Arkansas. Is that how you say that? Texas and Louisiana. So this is egregious. Little backstory. So Chris and Bruce Willingham run a newspaper that has zero, nada, zilch online presence. It is a paper you can burn in your fireplace, called the McCurtain Gazette. Print paper, no online presence. There was a gentleman who was hogtied and tased to death, and they were doing a story on it, and they were not receiving the information. I guess these people put in a FOIA request or the equivalent of FOIA requests in Oklahoma. They had to sue the sheriff's department. And so this is a father-son, and I think the son, I think it was Chris, if I have the names correct, was like, something's fishy here. I'm going to place a recording device inside the commissioner's office where the police, because you're not supposed to be able to have secret meetings with city commissioners, police, and so forth. That should be official. So this was he got more than he bargained for. You guys familiar with this story yet? All right, let's watch the Kate knows me so well. Let's watch the 5-minute version that Freeman put together a little bit ago. All right. Share screen. Here comes Sirius Black. Come on in. Hello, Senor Negro. All right.
Imagine living in a country like North Korea, where if you publish stories that are unfavorable to your government, you're likely to be investigated by police, probably thrown in jail, and worst case scenario, possibly even just outright murdered. Luckily, we live in the United States of America, where we have free press and the freedom to criticize our government. So no journalist would ever have their life threatened by the government for exposing the government's misdeeds. Or so you thought.
Several McCurtain County employees, to include the county sheriff. This after secret recordings allegedly captured them talking about beating, killing, and burying 2 newspaper reporters in Idabel. Those conversations shared with News 9. The reporter telling our Dean Stein he fears for his life.
The county's plot to murder reporters was discovered by Bruce Willingham when he placed a recording device inside of the county commissioner's meeting room because he believed that the commission was holding secret meetings, which were a violation of the Public Meetings Act, which says that all meetings must be public, that the public must be informed of the meetings, and that the public must be allowed to attend the meetings. He wasn't at all surprised to find out that his recorder did pick up a secret meeting that was held by the county commission and the sheriff's department. He was, however, surprised to find out the details of what they talked about in that meeting, including plotting to murder him and his son, as well as discussions about how they would dispose of the bodies.
I was breathless. I couldn't believe it. I was expecting it, chitter chatter stuff about county business and stuff. And that's how it started. And then it got down to the extremely serious stuff.
On the recordings, we can hear Commissioners Jeff Jennings and Robert Beck, as well as the elected sheriff, Kevin Clarity, and Sheriff's Deputy, Alicia Manning.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that were very quiet guys. Yeah. And would cut no mercy. Yeah. In Louisiana, because it was all mafia around. Yeah.
I know 2 or 3 hit men. They're very quiet guys.
Whole saying is,
What goes around goes around.
It will. I told you it will.
Yeah.
I know where 2 big deep holes are here.
I got an excavator.
And these are pre-dug.
All right, I know where their 2 big deep holes are if you ever need them. I've got an excavator. They're already pre-dug.
Holes are here.
I got an excavator.
And these are pre-dug.
Bruce Willingham and his son don't know for sure why county officials want him murdered, but they're suspicious that it may be because of a story that they ran on the sheriff's department where Deputy Matt Casbaum tased a man to death while he was hogtied.
We asked some questions about that. They refused to give us any records at all initially. We've now gotten everything we've asked for, but we had to file a lawsuit to get it.
But plotting the deaths of news reporters wasn't the only thing that was talked about in this official meeting. They also talked about how they believed that black folks should be taken down to the nearby river and hung. Local officials, including mayors and the governor of Oklahoma, are calling for the resignation of all the public officials involved, and the FBI is investigating this as a criminal case. Residents of the area have been protesting outside of the commission hall ever since the audio was released, and tonight will be the first official county commission meeting since the audio was released. And to the general public, the comments made in this meeting may come as a surprise. But to those of us who have been pushing for government accountability and especially police accountability over the years, we've already been promised by police union Joe Grimaldi that they are coming for us in this chilling threat 4 years ago.
But now I want to speak on behalf of the 5,200 brave men and women of the Houston Police Department and the other 800,000 police officers that are working these streets every single day, putting their lives on the line. We are sick and tired of having targets on our back. We are sick and tired of having dirtbags trying to take our lives when all we're trying to do is protect this community and protect our families. Enough is enough. And if you're the ones that are out there spreading the rhetoric that police officers are the enemy, well, just know we've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all, and we're going to make sure that we hold you accountable every time you stir the pot on our police officers. We've had enough, folks.
This comment from Joe Grimaldi came 4 years ago in Houston, Texas, after a botched raid on the wrong house. 5 officers ended up being shot in that raid, and Joe Grimaldi was trying to claim that the homeowners had shot the police. It was later determined that the homeowners never fired a single shot, and that the police had murdered both the 2 individuals in the home and shot each other. All 5 police officers were shot by other police officers, but he blamed the shooting of his 5 officers on news reporters and activists that expose bad cops, claiming that exposing the truth about police conduct puts a target on their back. It's my opinion that the plot to murder news reporters in Oklahoma very well could have been inspired by the threats made by Police Union Vice President Joe Grimaldi 4 years ago.
And if you're the ones that are out there spreading the rhetoric that police officers are the enemy, well, just know we've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all, and we're going to make sure that we hold you accountable every time you stir the pot on our police officers. We've had enough, folks.
All right. So let's. All right. I am speechless. Desert Goat, thank you very much for super chat, super sticker. Hold on, where am I? There we go. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, this was all the that Bruce Grimaldi thing was the Tuttles. If you guys remember that whole story, how they faked the search warrant and the confidential informant and so forth. My whole shocking. I want all the police apologists to step forward, please, and go. Yeah, unbelievable. So I talked to baby daddy James Freeman earlier today, and he was hoping to get somebody out there. As of now, this is, I think it's at least 2 hours from Tulsa, which is closer, and I think it's like 3 hours from Oklahoma City, so it is not that close. However, if you guys know Picture Perfect, who's based around the Tulsa area, apparently I chatted with him over text earlier. Apparently he and Pikes Peak, is there one new Pikes Peak auditor are going to possibly be going out there tomorrow. So and I just told them they were, just go cover the event, man. So the governor, Kevin Stitt, is asking this sheriff and these commissioners and everybody that was involved in this recording to resign. God forbid they should fire them. Yeah, totally nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let's oh, and then they went on to talk about lynching black people. And then they also talked about burning bodies. And when you burn bodies, the meat falls off the bone just like a barbecue. Which prompts the question, how many people have you burned to death to know this? Oklahoma. All right. It's got 3.6 stars. Google the McCurtain County Sheriff. Let's see. Phone number is 580. I really don't think I'm going to get through. 580-286-3331. All right.
You have reached the McCurtain County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, press 1. For the jail, press 2. For tribal police, press 3. For accident reports, press 4. For the court clerk's office, press 5. For all other calls, questions, press 6. Thank you for calling New Curtin County Sheriff's Office. This call is being recorded. If you do not wish to be recorded, please disconnect at this time. Please hold while I try to connect you.
Oh, they're open 24 hours a day. Trust me.
Thank you for calling New Curtin County Sheriff's Office. This call is being recorded. If you do not wish to be recorded, please disconnect at this time. Please hold while I try to connect you.
Sheriff's Office.
Hi. I wanted to know if the sheriff, how many bodies that.
No comment.
Are you guys doing a barbecue? Wow. Apparently, apparently they have mind readers answering the calls.
You have reached the McCurtain County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency.
I'm pressing 6.
Thank you for calling New Curtin County Sheriff's Office. This call is being recorded. If you do not wish to be recorded, please disconnect at this time. Please hold while I try to connect you.
Sheriff's Office.
I'm bringing the A1. Is that all right? Oh, can you imagine? Okay, how badly do you need a paycheck when you have the sheriff? Now, this sounds like a podunk county. So those of you that are outside of the United States, just to get you up to speed, you've got town cops, you have city cops, and then beyond the town or the city, generally speaking, you've got the sheriff's department, which covers the entire county. And there are many different counties, not just several. There are many different counties within a state. So each county has their own elected sheriff. So I don't know what the population is. We're going to find that out. 3331. So I'm surprised that I was not expecting to get through. So okay, I'm going to try to find the population of the county. I'm guessing it's 30,000. That's enough. Censusbureau.gov. Uh, 63% white. You say it ain't so. 8% black or African American. 18% American Indian and Alaska Native. 2 or more races, 7%. Hispanic, 6.7. Yeah. All right. Let's watch some other videos here of let's see. Do we go? All right, we're gonna go watch some TikTok. So I know there's some boomers, Gen Xers that are like, man, that is some Gen Z stuff. Also, I just want to point out, if you really want to date yourself and show your age, call 20-year-olds millennials. Okay. They're not millennials anymore. They're Gen Z. Millennials are like fucking 40. Okay. So I have some of my friends that are like, oh, these millennials, these like 20s. I was like, yeah, not millennials. You might want to keep up with that. All right, let's go to TikTok and what? No, not that. Share screen. All right. Let me know if you can hear the audio.
Tonight, Governor Stitt calling for the resignations of several McCurtain County employees, to include the county sheriff. This after secret recordings allegedly captured them talking about beating, killing, and burying two newspaper reporters in Idabel. Those conversations shared with News 9. The reporter telling our Dean Stein he fears for his life.
The reporter told me he wanted to prove that county officials were holding secret meetings, so he left his recording device behind and ended up with more than he expected.
I was breathless. I couldn't believe it.
McCurtain Gazette reporter and publisher Bruce Willingham said he proved his case on secret meetings, but it's what he heard on the March 6 recordings that are making headlines.
I was expecting it, chitter chatter stuff about county business and stuff, and that's how it started. And then it got down to the extremely serious stuff.
Willingham says county officials began talking about beating and killing him and his son, also a Gazette reporter, Chris Willingham. He claims on those recordings are Commissioners Mark Jennings and Robert Beck, along with Sheriff Kevin Clarity and Alicia Manning with the Sheriff's Department.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that are very quiet guys. Yeah. And would cut no mercy. Yeah. In Louisiana, because it's all mafia around here. Yeah. Don't say that. What goes around. It will. I told you it will. Yeah. Well, I know where 2 big deep holes are here. I got an excavator. And these are 3 dug.
Willingham believes he's being targeted about unfavorable stories about the Sheriff's Department, including one from last year when Eagletown residents hogtied a man who was caught burglarizing a city business. McCurtain County deputies responded and allegedly tased the man while hogtied. The man died.
We asked some questions about that. They refused to give us any records at all initially. We've now gotten everything we've asked for, but we had to file a lawsuit to get it.
Terrible for our county.
Idabel Mayor Craig Young says as a citizen, he will ask for the elected officials involved to resign.
That's your protector, who is the sheriff of our county, who should be protecting folks and caring about human lives.
We tried to call Sheriff Clarity, but he did not answer. However, Commissioner Mark Jennings did.
I don't know. I'm not going to make any comment, and that's all I've got to say.
When you get officials talking about burnt people and hanging people and digging holes and all that kind of stuff, it is what it is. It's hate.
We're told those files have been turned over to the FBI. Meanwhile, the next county commissioners meeting is set for tomorrow, and we'll be there. In McCurtain County, Deanne Stein for Oklahoma's Own.
Tonight, Governor Stitt calling for the resignations of several McCurtain County employees, to include the county sheriff. This after secret recordings allegedly captured them talking about beating, killing, and burying two newspaper reporters in Idabel. Those conversations shared with News 9. The reporter telling our Deanne Stein.
All right, that's that. Unbelievable. So thank you Austin. I'll take tyranny for 2000. So if you guys remember If you guys remember the story with Picture Perfect, who is the open carry, also First Amendment and Second Amendment activist who's based in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. If you recall, I think it was it early? I think it was early 2018. I'm almost positive that it was 2018 when he was arrested. So apparently somebody called saying that, you know, there was a guy open carrying, you know, this is in Oklahoma. And when the cops came out, they had him put his hands up, and they proceeded to fire rapid fire pepper balls into his chest and stomach. And he was like, what they were trying to do was have me drop my hands towards my gun so they could execute me. And people were like, man, that didn't happen. That's not what they were doing. That's you guys, man, you guys are conspiracy theorists. You guys are. So, yeah. Yeah, very good. This shit happens all across America. I promise this is not isolated. Of course not. This happens. This, I guarantee you, this idea of like, oh, we'll just kill them, happens in towns of 5,000 people. Not just 30,000. I mean, like just daily, hourly, these are conversations that take place. If you don't think so, cool. That's your, you know, so yeah. Yeah, no. And Kate, the mafia is actually in Oklahoma. So they have to the hitmen are, can you imagine how bad are you at a sheriff where you can't cooperate with organized crime? How bad are you as a sheriff politically where you can't say to the local mob, hey, we need a guy and his son snuffed out. Right? Yeah, exactly, Marcy. Just like Morro Bay. Sirius Black, you want to come? You want to say hi to people? You want to say hi to people? You want to put your head up there and say hi to people? Yes. Oh. All right, come and say hi to people. Sirius Black, come here and say hi. Come and say hi. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to get scratchies. I'm going to get scratchies, Daddy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sirius Black is a 100-pound Great Dane Lab, also known as a Labradane. For those who are not familiar with Mr. Sirius Black, that is he. And where's Poppy? All right. Tim Harper, yes. He is oh yeah, if you guys don't think that sort of, you know, bodies in the river or bodies inside a vehicle make it look like a car crash where they're trapped inside, I mean, you know, this is absolutely bananas. Ooh. Okay, let's watch another TikTok. All right, share screen.
Protesters gathered this morning outside of the McCurtain County Sheriff's Office, calling for the resignation of Sheriff Kevin Clardy and other county officials. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt and Idabel Mayor Craig Young are also calling for the resignations as well after disturbing comments were recorded during a county commission meeting in early March. During the recording, it was made by a McCurtain Gazette news reporter, and there was reportedly a discussion about murdering 2 Gazette reporters. According to the paper, the sheriff, District 2 Commissioner Mark Jennings, investigator Alicia Manning, and jail administrator Larry Hendricks could be heard making light of a case involving a woman dying in a fire. The governor is also calling on the Oklahoma Bureau of Investigations to look into the recorded comments.
No, they should be looking at any past crimes committed where people got barbecued, or people any and all missing persons in McCurtain County need to now be really investigated. We need some ground penetrating radar. You guys have seen those where they scan people's like backyards and they're able to like find if there's bodies buried and so forth. Yeah, we're gonna need that. Let's see. Let's see what else. All right, let's watch another TikTok, you guys. Yeah. Watch this.
Hey players, so in McCurtain County, Oklahoma, the governor is asking for officials there to step down. People are protesting in the street and the FBI is investigating after leaked audio surfaces of these McCurtain County officials speaking about hanging Black people and also hiring hitmen to go after journalists. So on March 6th, after the County Board of Commissioners meeting, Sheriff Kevin Clardy, his investigator, Alicia Manning, Commissioners Mark Jennings and Robert Beck, Commissioner's Secretary Heather Carter, and Jail Administrator Larry Hendricks were speaking with each other. And in a series of audio clips, you could hear them saying things like lynching Black people, discussing taking out local reporters. Y'all, it's ridiculous. Here's some of the audio.
It was back in the day when Alan Marshall take a damn blackjack, whoop their ass and throw them in the cell. I'd run the fucking sheriff. Yeah. Well, it's not like that no more. I know. Like a guy on Mud Creek and hang them up with the damn rope. Yeah. But you can't do that. Think about it, they got more rights than we got.
What they really don't know is they.
And that's the thing about it. 20 years ago, I would have done something like that. I mean, 20 years ago, when it was just,
They're insignificant in my life.
Yes.
Really, they bring
the old saying is, what goes around goes around.
It will. I told you it will.
Yeah.
I know where 2 big deep holes are if you ever need them.
I got an excavator.
These are already pre-dug. Yeah, but the thing of it is,
we actually told the truth.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that are very quiet guys.
Yeah.
And would cut no fucking mercy.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, because it's all mafia around
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the reality. If a hair on his wife's head, Priscilla Hilton's head, or any of those people that really were behind all that, if the hair on their head got touched by anybody, who would be the bad guy?
Who get blamed for it?
Yeah.
On the bark body, we wrap it up tenfold to preserve the body and stuff like that. And we got all the body parts and stuff like that. And Kyla was out there too.
All the body part. Oh, she come apart.
Yeah, just the bark bodies.
I know. I picked up one.
And
they really fall apart when they're burnt.
Yeah.
Have you
ever had barbecue? That's another.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm hungry.
Kyla looks at my
glasses.
I got to wrap the handful and put her in the body bag. Kyla goes, "You do know what we got to do now, right?" I goes, "No, what?" She goes, "She got to preheat the oven 350 degrees, leave her in there for 15 minutes." And she went,
Wow. So this audio was leaked, and because of this, hundreds have gathered at the McCurtain County Sheriff's Office to call for the sheriff to resign. The FBI is also investigating the sheriff and county officials, And the governor said that he is appalled and disheartened by the comments.
Bullshit.
Went on to call for the immediate resignation of McCurdy County Sheriff Kevin Clardy, District 2 Commissioner Mark Jennings, Investigator Alicia Manning, and Jail Administrator Larry Hendricks. Now, the sheriff's office did not answer to any request for comment, and Jennings' office did not have a statement at the time of this video. Wow, my mama always said, honey, what people say when they think no one is listening is what they really feel and think. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. You have racism and murder from a sheriff, the one that is supposed to protect us all. Players, put your thoughts in the comments. This is Double D Mobile for the Black Accurate News.
You heard that right, players. Unbelievable. Talking about what happens to bodies when they are burned and how the meat falls off the bone. You have to have some experience in order to talk about that kind of thing. It's sort of like somebody talking about skydiving and, well, oh yeah, well, this certain, whatever, this certain phenomenon happens when you're, free falling and blah, blah, blah. Well, you don't know that unless you've ever been free falling. So, wow, Kate, I wonder why, so mainstream media is bought and paid for. Yeah. Fubar, there's a bunch of guys in Florida. Captain Awesome, for starters. Bunch of guys. Exactly, forgive me. That's why government officials don't want our cameras running. They don't want to get caught slipping. I'm curious of the legality of placing a recording device surreptitiously in a meeting hall. So, I mean, yes, exactly. Jeff Gray for, yeah. So, unbelievable. So let's see. I'm gonna text baby mama, baby daddy. I think he's busy. I think James Freeman is working on child number 8. I don't even know how many kids he has right now. Picture Perfect, are you in the chat? Is Picture Perfect here? Anybody? ACAB Devil, story viral on my TikTok, can't get much on YouTube. Certain stories can get limited if sheriff's departments cry enough. Take Leon Lott and Richland with the Spring Valley High School scandal. Yeah, thank you. If you guys are not subscribed to ACAB Devil over on TikTok, for those of you that are on TikTok, he's got an amazing channel. I can't get arrested with my videos over on TikTok, because if I look at a cop cross-eyed, videos get taken down for bullying and harassment. So although telling a story, I guess, is going to be a little bit different. So yeah, no, we got it here. We got it covered here over here, ACAB Devil on YouTube. So yeah. Yeah, if it's council chamber, yeah, it sounds like it was a council chamber where public meetings are held. So yeah, that's a good point. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. So dude, I've been banned. I've had my channel deleted so many different times. I'm on like my 4th or 5th channel over there. I think if the charges don't come about, these guys are done. You are underestimating the power of police unions. You're underestimating the power of bootlickers. You're underestimating the power of moving to a different part of the state. You're underestimating the power of district attorneys and state, local, state, county, federal people protecting these people. So, yeah. So, and of course they're going to use the the locker room talk argument. I'm sure that they're going to. Can you imagine? Okay, so all right, so these guys, so you hog tie a guy, you arrest him for having some weed, crime of the century. You tase him to death, he dies, and some little podunk paper. No offense to Chris and Bruce Willingham. A newspaper with no online presence whatsoever, which I don't even know. I can't even calculate that. I can't even do the math on that. Is exposing you, and you're pissed. So you arrange to possibly have them executed, and then that plan gets found out. Can you imagine how livid these crooked cops are right now? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, all right. Is Picture Perfect in the chat, you guys? Anybody? If not, he and Pikes Peak Auditor are going to be traveling 200 miles one way to this crappy town. So if mods can throw up the links for Pikes Peak and Picture Perfect, subscribe to them. If you see them go live tomorrow, throw them some gas money, man. I mean, I know gas isn't $5 a gallon, $6 a gallon like it is in California there, but it ain't cheap, man. So throw them some money for lunch, throw them some money for travel, throw them some money for thank you. May Sullivan, $10. My favorite auditor. These tyrants deserve your contempt. Thank you. Picture Perfect. Hey, do you want to come on here and chat briefly? I'm going to post the link if you want to. You don't have to. You can just do audio if you want, or audio and video if you want. So go and subscribe to Picture Perfect if you haven't. If you are unfamiliar with the history of Picture Perfect and his arrests for open carrying and the multitude of arrests, go on a deep dive. If you get, I mean, it's early. It's 6:35 p.m. in Los Angeles, so that means it's only 9:30. DC, New York, Miami time. So go do a deep dive over on Picture Perfect's channel. So, yeah. So, all right. There's Genesis posted picture Pikes Peak auditors link. Thank you very much. All right, so he can't come in. Oh no, here he is. So he is here late. All right, everybody, the one, the only, don't fuck this up. Picture Perfect. What's up, man?
Hey, bud, how goes it?
Good, man.
Good.
So we're throwing your link up in the chat. We got almost 400 people here. So you and Pikes Peak. So if you guys do wind up making it down there, I told everybody to, throw you some gas money, throw you hotel money, throw you some, travel money. All of this stuff is not cheap for us. we're buying equipment, we're buying GoPro batteries, we're buying micro SD cards, we're buying external hard drives. There's a lot of infrastructure that people don't necessarily realize. I have an entire, I think it's it's either a 12 or a 16 gig hard drive just with cop watching and auditing stuff. I mean, and I haven't been doing anything in the last year and a half, 2 years. So, yeah. So, yeah, what do you, dude? Okay. First of all, I need to say, if you guys are unfamiliar with the video of Picture Perfect in Claremore, Oklahoma, okay, well, it was a two-parter. Is that correct? Picture Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a
only because I
two-parter.
didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right. No. This was like 5 years ago. Okay. This was this was like, I remember coming out to go stay at James Freeman's in February of 2018. Okay. And we went up to Claremore, Oklahoma. Now listen, I've said this before. Those of you that have been here a while know, like, every person that you talk to says, the cops in my town, the cops in my city, the sheriffs in my county are the worst. Okay. Everybody says that, just like every country says they have the best beer. Okay. Oh, so it's just what everybody says. And I'm not knocking people for saying that, because it's all that they know. They're in a little micro. I have never received more emails with people. I've been on the phone with people that are like, I live in Claremore, Rogers County, Claremore, Oklahoma, one of the worst places ever known to man. Okay. By far, Claremore, Oklahoma, and James Freeman and I went out there to try to have this Sergeant Book, who is now Lieutenant Book, who tried to get Picture Perfect to do a field sobriety test on foot while he wasn't even driving. And Picture Perfect, being the calm, cool, collective mother that he is, was like, nope. And you can't see it on there, but you closed your eyes, because he had the pen. He was trying to do the follow the tip of my pen, and you just closed your eyes. So,
that really pissed him off.
So Claremore in Rogers County is a pretty close suburb of Tulsa, right? I mean, we're right outside of Tulsa, right? Claremore.
It's probably 15-20 minutes outside of town.
Right. Okay. So this place being, you said 200 miles from you? This place that's going on now, the McCurtain. Did you say it was about 200 miles away from you?
Yeah, it's about 205 miles, I think.
Dude, that's insane, dude. That's like 4 hours, dude. I mean, that's,
yeah, it's a drive.
So if you go, great. If not, I mean, we get it. You know what I mean? But like, I just, it would be nice to have somebody get out there. Freeman was like blowing up my phone today, saying, well, you need to get somebody out there. Who do you know in Oklahoma? And I'm like, I know one motherfucker in Oklahoma, and that's it, man. That's it.
Right?
I don't have, I am not like, the networking king here, so, but if you make it, great. If not, but I mean, this sounds like, but no, not trying to say that McCurtain or whatever it's called is not, but this sounds like business as usual everywhere, right?
Yeah, the way it sounds, this sheriff and everybody involved didn't seem worried in the slightest about what they were saying. So it leads me to believe that this probably isn't the first time they've done this, the first conversation about something like this they've had. And I would not doubt it at all if that sheriff has followed through on something like this in the past with other people. I don't know that to be true.
Oh no, but listen,
That's just
when you talk about
my guess.
barbecue and when you roast a body, how the meat falls off the bone on a human being, that sounds like somebody that has actual experience of burning a body. Call me crazy. Yeah, high impact. I think James contacted High Impact, and I think he was not able to make it there. So, like I said, if you do, great. If not, great. Freeman's in the chat. All right, Freeman. There's the link. Freeman.
I think High Impact is out in Tahlequah. He's a little bit further east, but I think it's just as far for him to get down there as it would be for me.
Right. I think James said it was like 3 hours or something for him, but I mean, so, yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is what people don't really realize. This is what people, you know, the bootlickers and the, you know, the police apologists, you know, they're like, oh, this doesn't happen. Or when you hear the cops talking in the front seat about like, oh, I'll just go murder that guy. I'll get a free vacation. You know, the police apologists will be like, oh, well, that's just the, the one bad apple.
Oh no, they're everywhere, especially in this area of the country. Not to go in a different direction, but just kind of to illustrate this, the arrest I had in September for filming the police. One of the officers, I found out later, Officer Kamasa, Komasa, she about 5 or 6 years ago shot a man in the back with another officer who I guess was fleeing. And wouldn't you know, they didn't do anything wrong. I think they killed him.
Yeah, I don't understand how you can shoot somebody in the back and have that justified, other than planting a burner gun in somebody's hand, you know, or
right,
you know,
well, even so, a gun in the hand doesn't justify a bullet in the back.
Yeah.
If you or I did that, we'd be in prison.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Emergency education. No, I am not reading these. Just FYI. May Sullivan, former apologist here, as am I. Listen, I was a bootlicker up until I wasn't a bootlicker. I watched every episode of Cops in the 80s and the 90s, like every episode. And what that was propaganda. Like, look at these hardworking men and women of law enforcement and look at all of the derelicts and miscreants that they have to run into on the daily. You should have some sympathy for these guys. Thanks to you and Long Island Islet, I have repented of my former bootlicking ways. Listen, I think everybody. I mean, Freeman will admit that he was a bootlicker until he wasn't. You know, I mean, I think it's just how we're brought up of like that authority. And I'm 56 years old, and it was like, if you're ever in trouble, run to a cop. You know, like it was. It was always stuff like that. I have friends of mine now that are having kids that are like, if you're ever in trouble, you run to a parent. You find somebody that has another kid and you run to them. You do not run to a cop. You run to somebody that has a kid that is a parent. So yeah. Freeman, are you coming in the chat, or am I just going to have to post the naked pictures of you and your beard? John Sawicki's, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So yeah, this is business as usual for police departments all around the area. If you do not think that police have killing fields, where they go on the regular to handle stuff like this. Yeah, oh my God. Mangster says, what if the parent is a cop? Freeman says he's waiting back at his office, getting back to my office to come up. I don't even know. Was that English? Was like Microsoft Office or your actual office? But yeah, this is I guarantee you this place where these guys are talking about there are already 2 pre-dug holes, that this is one, if not the killing field that these cops use. Now, I have a dear friend of mine that has been friends with mine for 30 years who grew up in San Diego, and her best friend, the best friend's father, so she's a little younger than I. Her best friend growing up had a father who was a homicide detective with San Diego Police Department. And they were going to go, I forget, they were going to go hiking somewhere. And they told the daughter told the dad where they were headed. And the dad was like, don't you dare go there. And then disclosed to her without my friend there, so it was just he and his daughter, that is a killing field where, but it's mostly just, but then he of course he had to say, well, it's just like, nameless people and hookers, like yeah.
That justifies it.
Yeah. James Free Range Slaveman is here.
Testing 1 2 3. Can you hear me?
Dude, that's some high end woodwork behind you there. Look at that the little scuffs over your left shoulder. But you've got kids, dude. So
yeah. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Not at all. Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're fine.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. I'm in the trailer, man. That's
I know.
High end stuff.
So.
I appreciate you covering this, though. Conspiracy theories seem to be becoming conspiracy facts, huh? Had we told people 20 years ago that there were sheriff's deputies, an elected sheriff, and elected commissioners plotting to murder people who exposed them, most of the world would say, "No, you're full of where? North Korea, China? Like that doesn't happen in America."
Yeah.
And cameras and recording devices are proving conspiracy theories to be conspiracy facts, huh?
Well, yeah, and it's really difficult to argue with an audio like that. I mean, there's you can play the locker room talk. Oh, we knew there was a recorder going. We wanted to give him something salacious. Yeah. So. Yeah, Picture Perfect. Have you ever met James? Because I've never met Picture Perfect, but I've met James and touched his beard.
Oh, yeah, no, never in person. Just
okay.
I've just spoken with him on the phone.
Okay. D-Sade, thank you very much. Only discharged veteran who was mistreated in California, moved to Oklahoma, was treated even worse by cops. Now I donate to auditors. Cops suck. Yeah. Okay, James. You know, as well as you, Picture Perfect, you guys hear all the time, my county, my cops are the worst. My city is the worst. My blah is the worst. What is James, what has your has your experience been similar to mine? Where, I mean, I have had people that are like minutia level details. Like I was running for the district attorney and I backed out because my life was threatened in Claremore. I mean, tell us, do you have any experience or stuff like that, or do you have worse departments in your opinion?
It's hard to say. It's I mean, yeah, you're right. Every single person who reaches out swears that their county or their city is the worst, and who knows? again, like I said earlier, though, things are coming, cameras are causing things to be exposed more than they used to be. And so I think that places like Arizona, Oklahoma, California, Texas have a lot more activists and journalists that are exposing it. And so it may appear that those places are a little bit more corrupt or a little more dirty. I really think that for the most part, they're all about equal. And it's just a matter of time before each one gets exposed and we realize, no, this same thing happens. Same thing. Different faces all across, not just the US, but the world.
Tuck Please Suck is in here. Listen, all of Arizona ties for last. I mean, seriously, Phoenix, there's a multitude of cities outside of Phoenix. If you guys are not familiar with Phoenix, there's Mesa, there's all of these little cities around Phoenix. It's a really weird dynamic. They are all horrible. And then Tucson is what, about an hour and 15 south of like downtown Phoenix. If you guys are not subscribed to Tuck Please Suck, please do so. Also, he's got a mean left.
Johnny, I think that also, in my experience, I think Arizona does stick out as probably one of the worst. And I would have to say that the reason would be that it's not just police. It's everything it's all three branches of government. It's the police, it's the legislators who have written laws saying that you can't record the police. It's the judges who are trying to kick us out of courthouses and courtrooms. I mean, Arizona has a genuine conspiracy between all three branches of government conspiring against individual liberties together. So I think that that's what probably makes them stand out a little bit more. Like California, for example, they'll convict a dirty cop. It's rare. It's not like they do it as often as they should, but it happens from time to time. Texas is even the same way. But in Arizona, man, I just see, Daniel Shaver was murdered in the hotel, right?
Right.
By,
what was the drunk guy?
Right. And,
the tattoos.
Right. It doesn't get any more clear that was a blatant cold-blooded murder, and he got away with it. So some of the most horrible cases, again, it's all three branches of government in some places like Arizona that are conspiring together. And that just makes it so that they're untouchable. They're absolutely, completely, and totally untouchable in Arizona because they're conspiring together with all three branches.
Sixth State of Arizona says Arizona promoted killer cops. Yeah, that cop who executed Daniel Shaver, air quote, resigned, and then wasn't he like secretly rehired so he could get his pension? Like,
That's right.
It's just, it's just awful. So, but yeah, I would think that Arizona is the worst state, followed closely by Texas, and mostly also because of the volume of people, the cop watchers that we have in Arizona and Texas. New York City, I have seen like New York City cops that are like, you cannot be inside our precinct filming. However, I've only seen a couple of guys in New York City that have popped up here or there and done some things. There hasn't been anybody really that has done like a real consistent job in New York City. I don't know. Maybe they're sitting at the bottom of the Hudson River. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? One of the things too is I'm sure the plan is, if you were a dirty police agency, is you nip these auditors in the bud before they get too famous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
No, seriously, because then it's like Bob Lazar when he said, I worked at Area 51. I reverse engineered the sport model UFO. Like, they can't kill Bob Lazar now, because if they do, he becomes a martyr and everything that he said becomes fact.
Yeah.
So
and I think we see that already with activists around the country who decide they want to pick up a camera and start recording police, and they manage to snuff them out before they even get to 10,000 subscribers.
Right.
One specifically that I can think of off the top of my head is CH&TY audits. Right. Craig from CH&TY has been in jail multiple times. Like, every time I go and try to call the guy and reach out, and I find out he's in jail again.
Yeah.
And he's a powerful force. And so it's no coincidence to me. And he's just one of many that get completely railroaded over and over again in order to shut them up. And that's kind of the first resort, it seems, when governments are being exposed, is to use what they have against you, which is to prosecute you for bullcrap BS crimes that you didn't actually commit. Now, when you get to the point where you're too powerful and they can't prosecute you on BS, yeah, that's when your life is likely in danger. And Johnny and I Johnny, we've talked about this for years off camera. How there's been situations that we get into where we personally have decided that's enough. We're going to back off. Not because we're not doing the right thing, not because the story's not important. No, there's some of the most important stories, but we know for dang sure that either us or our family members are about to get murdered, and we stop.
Washington City, Utah.
Right.
I mean,
CPS in Tucson, Arizona is another one.
Okay. Was that with you?
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
time
unfamiliar with that one.
The only time I ever received a credible threat was after I went to CPS in Tucson, Arizona. Somebody sent me an email with a picture of the front of my house that said, "Hey, I see your wife and kids are home, but you are not. Leave CPS alone." I said, "Okay." And we get threats all the time, but most of them I just don't consider, credible. But
right. Yeah. No, so if you guys are unfamiliar with, they'll give you the brief history. James and I were out there with Eric Brandt a couple of years back prior to the zombie apocalypse. And we were out there, and then we wound up in Washington City, which is north of St. George by a little bit. When St. George's was like one of the most southernmost cities in Utah, down by the Arizona border. And we got kicked out of City Hall, and James was up in code enforcement asking about wild pigs. Oh my God. And they kicked us out, and they were not happy. And then these white pickup trucks, which some of the commenters that were LDS and former LDS, that's Latter-day Saints, those are the Mormons, for those people that are unfamiliar with Utah and what the LDS Church is and how they run things. And James Freeman, LDS, former LDS, I don't know how you want to, can fill you in on a lot of the really, really nitty gritty stuff. There were these white pickup trucks of locals showing up that the people in the chat were like, "Oh, those are the Danites," and those, it's one thing. Yeah.
I think it's pronounced Danites, but
Danites. Okay. Sorry.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Okay. That's my bad then. Yeah. I only saw it written. So yeah, Danites. Okay. So, and so listen, the police have a certain protocol before they kill you. Guys in white pickup trucks,
they
not
do
so much.
These guys do, though. They do. Just like anybody else, their goal is to scare you, bully you, intimidate you, and if you refuse to be bullied and intimidated, you get disappeared.
So Belle and I and the dogs were bidding James Freeman adieu in the Wally World Walmart parking lot there, and we were like, dude. And I was just like, dude, my spidey senses, I was like, bro, like, it's time. It's time to, if I was in your shoes, I'd be leaving. What a great idea, to quote Animal House. And so James fell prey to the old cherries and berries.
Always. I can't
help
it.
Like, it's like a moth to a flame. Okay. So they have a cop car with the lights and just the lights going with this girl, and James zooms in. I mean, it's sort of like when you're a kid and you take a bag of dog shit and then you light it on fire and then you ring somebody's doorbell because you know what the next action is going to be, right? They're going to come out and, oh my God, there's a fire. I must stomp this out. And they get dogs like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I remember being 12. Okay. But if we provide cherries and berries, we know the next thing that's going to happen is Freeman by himself, because J50 is if you heard a double sonic boom, that was J50 and Bell on the 15 South headed towards Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. The car re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. And instantly, and it was one of these other cops, and James has all of these contraptions on to be able to live stream, and he's got all this hardware, and he's like robo cop, but robo photographer, you know, and the guy's like, is that a gun? Is that a gun? That video got like 1 million views within, you know, a couple of days. So if you guys have not seen that, maybe the mods can post that link. That James was about to be executed in broad daylight, and he had to think on his feet, and he put his hands up, and he told everybody around him to start filming him. Same thing with Picture Perfect. They were gonna kill you with the pepper balls to the chest and stomach, right?
Absolutely. He intentionally shot me on the side that I had a handgun. My guess is to get me to wince in pain and drop my hand so he could justify shooting me.
Yeah. So this idea, so people don't really realize the risks that we take every time that we go out with a camera. People are like, oh, this is, you guys are funny, and you know, and Johnny 5-0 matched James Freeman's order at the Jack in the Box when they went to Claremore. Yeah, we have a good time, and maybe we spoon or not spoon. I won't tell you who's the inside or outside spoon with me and baby daddy, but that's for you to find out. But like, yeah, we have a good time, but it is deadly serious, and this recording shows the level of seriousness of the consequences of a paper newspaper, not with no online presence. So there's no Google. The name of the sheriff can't be Googled. I mean, you know, it just amazing.
Yeah, we were just talking earlier about how we make jokes about a lot of stuff just because this gets so depressing. You know, hearing the same story over and over and over, and seeing the same thing happen over and over. I'm personally sick of getting phone calls about somebody being arrested in Texas for recording the police on a public sidewalk, because it's happening at least once a week. And people want to talk about Turner versus Driver. Well, we've got case law that says that if you can record in a public place. Well, you know what? Criminals don't care about law, nor do they care about case law. You know, and to those of us who know what's going on, and it's our job to try to take the truth and narrate it in a way that the general public will digest it. It's quite sickening, honestly, and exhausting to have to go through it all the time. Cops talk about, you know, how it's tough for them that they have to deal with some of the worst criminals every day. And of course, that's why they get to go home and beat their wives. And that's why they get to treat innocent people horribly. And, you know, I personally slipped into cases where, like in Arizona, after being screwed with by Tucson police so much, there was one night where I went out and just said F you to every Tucson police officer I came across, no matter, never met him in my life.
Right.
But yeah, it does break you down. But of course, there's no excuse either for turning as cold and violent and disgusting as they are. And we are going to keep exposing them. We're going to keep publishing stories. We're not going to stop. And you know what? Some of us really aren't afraid if you kill us. We aren't. The truth is going to come out. And more people are starting to realize that those that swore to protect and serve them, those that are supposed to be upholding the law, are very likely the most dangerous mafia gang there is.
So I'm going to date myself with this reference. I'm 56 years old. In 1980, Peter Gabriel, I think that's on his first solo record, had a song called Biko, and it was about Stephen Biko, who was a political dissident in South Africa regarding apartheid, and was outspoken, and he was imprisoned. He was jailed. He was a black man. He was jailed. He was beaten in a cell to death. And so Peter Gabriel, if you've ever gone to see Peter Gabriel live, every other song is dedicated to some activist. I'm not even like, it was like, dude, and when you're 21, you're like, dude, you know what I mean? Like my activism level was like, get the past the joint, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like it was.
So you're 80 now or
yeah,
90?
exactly. And in the song Biko, there is a line that says, you can blow out a candle, but you can't blow out a fire. And, you know, once the flames begin to catch, the wind will blow it higher, you know? And so I believe that the people, Jeffrey Grays and the Tom Zebras and the News Now San Diego guys and the guys that really did this thing to start. I mean,
Hey, Johnny, I'll be right back, man. I'll be right back.
Okay. I think those guys lit the candle, and it was precarious at best. And then, sort of the second wave of guys came along like me and Freeman and Picture Perfect. And, I'm not doing as much as I used to. And, but there's plenty of other guys that the three of us here on this panel have inspired, and that's the beauty. It's like each one teach one, and find, and just pass this thing along. And it's like a reverse pyramid scheme.
You know, Johnny, I'm glad you mentioned that because I've done like mild government accountability stuff pretty much forever. The government would come and screw with me or my business, and I would just screw back, right? But I didn't really record stuff and upload it to YouTube. I wasn't out there to share it with the world. I was just gonna, I just lightly pushed back from time to time. And I watched a lot of Gavin Syme. And it was after Gavin Syme was terrorized to the point where he and his family fled the United States of America and were actually given asylum in Mexico. The Mexican government decided that he was actually terrorized by his own government and gave him asylum and citizenship in Mexico. But it was after they ran him out that I said, no. You know what? You're not going to run people out of here and then have them shut up. You may have run one out, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to stand up and start publishing videos publicly now where, I had that fight, that fire in me to fight a little bit, but not to publish it and show it to the world. It was because they ran Gavin Syme out of the country that James Freeman started making public videos. And to this day, you can credit every exposed filthy cop to Gavin Syme being run out of the United States. At least on my channel. That's why I decided to do it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us have that one thing or that one person maybe, and maybe it was a whole series of things that led you to where you're at. For most of us, there was something though that pushed us over the edge.
Yeah.
And,
like a light switch moment where it was just like, and it went, it went from a dark room to a light room, and, yeah. And like I said, like James has said, ad nauseum of like that, back the blue until it happens to you. You know what I mean? Like everybody's a police supporter until you realize. And like I said, I mean, I remember, I'll never forget this on a cop watch. During the zombie apocalypse, there were 5 like Mexican Latino guys up on a wall, facing a wall with their were all handcuffed, standing for an hour. Nobody was arrested. All they were issued with was a ticket for a broken headlight or something like that. But they searched the vehicle and they had these guys out there for an hour standing like dogs, like with their head against the wall. And there was a sergeant there. And I said, you know what? I said, people of color, I said, Black people, Latinos, they have all known that the police have been corrupt for decades. Okay. You haven't needed to tell them. It's been white people that have been the slowest to come around. Cause let's face it, the police are here to protect property and, and so forth, which a lot of white people benefit from.
The wealthy.
And so I said, you know what? And this was like after all of the riots that took place, with the George Floyd execution. And if you notice at every protest, there were agent provocateurs that turned it into a riot so that the police could then justify a use of force and say, you know what, this is no longer a peaceful protest. This is, has crossed the line. Shocking that every one of them had some, agent provocateur. And I told him, and I was like, dude, I said, you know what? You have lost the white people. I said, there are soccer moms here in the San Fernando Valley, which is like total suburbia, that had back the blue bumper stickers that have been replaced with fuck the police. Okay. All within a couple of months' time of how you guys handled peaceful protests around the entire country. So
Yeah, I was one of those people, Johnny. Right-wing Republican, back the blue. Not just back the blue, but man, I'd deep throat the whole damn boot, Johnny. I kid you not. I would deep throat the whole boot. And yeah, unfortunately it is back the blue until it happens to you. And one of the events that took place that started changing me was when I called the police for help instead of a crackhead. And little did I know, I definitely would have had better luck with a crackhead. I'm not saying good luck, but better luck. And I ended up staring down the barrel of a gun on my own property and brought to my knees and handcuffed before they figured out they had the wrong guy.
Was that was that the pew pew incident?
Different one. No,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
the pew pew incident happened way after that. When I started realizing it's my own responsibility to take care of my own safety and security and to never call the police.
Yeah. Thank you, Polyglocks. Justice for Tony. Tony is a friend of Polyglocks, a personal friend who was killed by police. It's just so sad that like you just start hearing all of these names that have like, and you just lose track. You're like Eric Garner and be like, oh, is that the I Can't Breathe guy? Like there's so many people, that it's
and so many innocent people too, Johnny, because I mean, the rhetoric used to be, and I spread it as well. Well, don't break the law and you won't have problems with the cops. And it seems logical.
Right.
It made perfect sense when I parroted it thousands of times. But there's just too many instances where no, the innocent are the ones being harmed. I recently watched a video where a cop ran a plate wrong, got the wrong description of a vehicle. And so he pulled over a vehicle he thought was stolen, held a doctor and her child and a couple other people at gunpoint while they dragged him out of the car. The guy asks the cop, so you think it's funny to point guns at kids? And he says, F yeah, and tells him shut up and get on the ground. And, it's, you can't deny anymore. There's too many videos of them harming innocent people. And I think that's really what's destroying their reputation. If they were genuinely going after pedophiles, child molesters, people who are murderers, and that was all they ever did, none of us would be saying F the police.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not. They're destroying the lives of innocent people. And now I go back and realize, that they've been doing it for way longer than I realized they have been.
Yeah. Picture perfect. What do you got anything to throw in? You think you're going tomorrow? Because because I want everybody to throw you some dough. Is your PayPal link up on your on some of your videos?
It should be, yeah.
In the description. If mods,
yeah, I believe it's Picture Perfect 25, I believe.
Okay. Mods, can somebody throw that link up? May Sullivan, thank you very much. If every auditor displayed the same amount of gonads as Johnny and James did, and Picture Perfect, don't forget Picture Perfect. He's taken more violence than I have. We'd win this battle in a week. Yeah, you know what I really love to hear? I love to hear when all of when the police are talking about the morale and how bad morale is.
I love destroying police morale.
you know what's amazing to me? That the police, even educated police, which there are a few, would pass a polygraph that guys like Picture Perfect, James, and myself were the reason that the public has turned against the police. And they're too stupid to realize, no, they're the reason that everyone has lost fucking confidence in them. Like,
Johnny, I could tell you lies all day, every day about police, but it will never, ever, ever have the effect of showing you the truth about police. Showing you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be pretty bummed out if I had to work with the cops too, so.
Yeah, I mean,
talking about morale, right?
Yeah, and the fact that they're having difficulty, hiring new cops, and they, and
yep.
But this also plays into the, that they speak fluent victimese, and like poor us, and we're so mistreated. The fire department,
The original snowflakes are cops,
yeah. There's
right?
no rap song called the fire department. You
No,
know,
not
like
yet.
They haven't earned it. No, they're on their way to in L.A. Don't get me wrong, but
oh, I know.
you know, but you know, the fire department actually goes into a burning that has the fucking gonads to go into a burning building, rescue people, and put themselves at risk, and then come back out. They don't. I have not seen an incident yet where the fire department shows up to an apartment complex, chains the doors, and then sets the place on fire,
and then shoots your dog.
Right. You know what I mean? Like that is kind of the equivalent of what police do with us, you know. So just absolutely nuts. So yeah, it really sucks that the morale is so low. And it's guys, it's jerk offs like these three people that you see in the Hollywood squares. It's all our fault.
Yeah, and Joe Grimaldi said the same thing. I put that in the video that I published today, where
that was...
you know, and he outright said he's coming after us. And let's be honest. Again, it's not because we're telling lies about what police are doing. It's because we're showing you actual solid video and audio evidence of what they're doing. It's them that's making them hated, not us.
Right. How in the world? Okay. How in the world is, I mean, Joe Grimaldi or whatever his name is, like he is as New York Italian as New York Italian is. Yep. How does anybody outside of the tribe or the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tolerate? Like, how do people in Houston be like, oh, I love that guy from New York City? I mean, like, I thought, listen, you guys, picture perfect from Oklahoma. James has lived in Dallas for, I mean, don't you guys hate people from New York City? I mean, I'm from New York City. Like, I mean, like, I do not think that the people in Texas are like, oh, I love them New Yorkers. Like, I just don't get how people are like, oh, I love that guy.
We don't hate the people as, you know, like the people. We hate the politics and what a lot of them stand for. Because if you look, a lot of it is this oppressive bullshit. So we don't like that stuff.
Well,
but people,
valid point. I haven't heard
fine.
that. So, truth be told, audits. Thank you for the super chat. Was somebody able to post Picture Perfect's PayPal? Watch him get a bunch of PayPal and not even go.
I'll go, man. I'll go.
Tomorrow night he'll be live streaming an expensive dinner,
right? With fucking like fucking hookers and champagne and caviar. You know what I mean? Like fucking, you know, Cristal. Yeah. All right. Genesis
Johnny, do you know if there's been any? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Genesis says she can't find. So you think it's PayPal? Is it the PayPal.me?
Yeah. Tell you what. Hang on. I'm gonna jump over to my PayPal real quick and I'll get the link. Hang on.
Okay.
Johnny, have you looked to see if there's anybody, even mainstream media, live streaming out there in McCurtain County for the?
It would be. Yes, this is it. I got it. It's here we go. Picture Perfect 25. Yep, there it is. I got it. So yeah, and then you're probably going with Pikes Peak, or you're almost definitely.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. So whether or not he comes, whatever. I'm
well,
gonna
listen. It's a 4-hour, just the drive, one way. So don't. I mean, I get it if you're not, you know. Trust me, dude. You know.
Well, you got to realize what I do for a living, man. 4 hours isn't much.
You're a truck
yeah.
driver, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
He does transport.
Don't let that get out, though. That's between us.
Right.
Oh, was I?
Marcy Fox says thanks for the lobster. Yeah. All right, you guys. We'll wrap it up. I just want, like, this is insane. So James, Frickin' Media said that he thinks that because it was a the commissioner's room or the city hall or the Chamber of Commerce or whatever, that there was no expectation of privacy. My first thing that I thought of was like, is that legal? Because I know in California you can't pull that off.
That's wiretapping in most places.
Yeah, so
the question is,
Oklahoma's
though,
a one-party consent state.
Okay.
Right, but that's when you're recording a conversation that you're involved in.
Right, that you're involved in, right, being the operative term. So
yeah, when you're not involved in it, it's different. Now, this could end up like a lot of leaks on government corruption, where they say, oh, well, it was illegal for you to do this. Okay, but what's the public outcry going to be like when you try to prosecute a guy for exposing government officials plotting a murder?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, go ahead, try to prosecute him.
They're going after Snowden, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And, yep.
Clash with Bao says Johnny 5-0 is the biggest crybaby in the 1A community. Clash with Bao, you want to come on here? Yeah.
He's hiding from warrants in Arizona. He's a fugitive.
Is he? Get in line.
Is he still offended that they won't come get him?
I'm not sure, but
you think that's fake, Paulie? I don't know, because listen, Bao's got an odd sense of humor, and he knows that I can take that joke. So, yeah. All right, you guys. Well,
yeah, that's actually fake. That's actually a fake Bao. I just checked.
Is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that he would say to me.
He would,
and that we would all get a laugh out of. So yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. No
Thanks,
sub. Paulie
Bao.
says no pubs. All right, Paulie, you know what to do. Especially with an account like that, to ban that account, because it's, I just fell for. I almost sent a dick pic just now. So, yeah.
To Bao.
Somebody says, chat GPT Bao. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for coming on. Picture Perfect. If you do decide to go, thank you. If you're going, if you're going live, let us know. And, you guys try to support Picture Perfect, either financially or with just coming into the chat and hitting the like button and subscribing to his channel. Because and like I said, go on a deep dive. Picture Perfect's got at least 5 years worth of videos of some really good stuff. So yeah, so cool. James Freeman, aka Baby Daddy, thank you. So I thought you were working on Freeman number 8, the Ocho. And that's why you weren't able to come.
my pullout game is super strong now.
Yeah. All right. Good. Good. It's about time. So, yeah.
Thanks for having me on, though, Johnny.
Thanks.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate you covering this.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate your calling me and letting me know about it. And I think I'm going to get my dog Poppy on here to say hi to everybody, and then we're going to call it. So Picture Perfect, thank you much for being here. Appreciate your service.
Yeah, no worries.
Picture Perfect, you going to be live tomorrow?
Yeah. When I go down, I'm going to go. I'll go live, and I'll text Johnny, and he can get the word out, I guess.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll send people over there too. I know there was at least 100 people allegedly today in front of the sheriff's department protesting, and those have got to be locals too. I don't think these are people who even came from out of town. So, and that, to me, that's pretty powerful, because a lot of times we can get a big crowd from all over the country, but to actually genuinely have a government that pisses off all the local people enough to get hundreds of people there on the first day a story breaks is pretty impressive. So, I don't know for sure, but I imagine.
I think it has to do with how egregious. Poppy, come here. I think it has to do with how egregious the story was as well. So,
yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to your stream. Picture Perfect.
Yeah, like, is it just go down there and just cover it? Don't you have to do anything particular? You know what I mean? Just
show us what's going on. That's what I wanted. If I were closer, that's what I wanted to do, is just drive out there and see what's going on. And See what the reaction of the people is. So,
Poppy, I'll go down and try to get some info from the locals and see what they think's going on, and I'll try to get in and talk with the district attorney and see if there's any plans to investigate this on a state level, or if they already are, and maybe try and get a hold of the sheriff himself.
So I saw a news story of the OFBI or something about some kind of like
the OSBI, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah. That they were supposedly, looking into it, or it's all just lip service, man.
Yeah. No, the OSBI is a joke.
There should be people in prison right this minute, and I think that's what the locals are going to be calling for. I don't know. At this point, all I know for sure that they've called for is immediate resignation of all those involved, and even the mayor.
They're not going to fire anybody. They're just asking, can you guys please bow out?
Right.
Not like class bow, not that kind of bow, but
can you just resign and then run for office again in a few months?
Yeah.
Well, you guys look up. There was a sheriff in the town that I went to high school in Wagner, Oklahoma. He was initially the canine officer for the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, and then he retired from the Highway Patrol, ran for sheriff of Wagner County, and he won. He was a sheriff for a long time. Ultimately, he got popped for extortion. He pulled some people over and found that they had like 10 grand in cash, and said, well, we're gonna arrest you on a bunch of felonies, or you can forfeit this money and we'll let you go. So they stole the money, and they did this big investigation, and come to find out he was super corrupt, and they nailed his ass. They went to prosecute him, and somehow they ended up dropping everything and letting him plead to a misdemeanor of abuse of office. And they let him retire and keep both his Highway Patrol retirement and his sheriff's pension.
Double dip.
His name is Bob Colbert. Look that up. His son is actually a police officer with Tulsa Police.
Of course, he is. Interesting. Art Acevedo, who was the chief of police in Houston for the Tuttle murders, his son is a stand-up comic here in Los Angeles. This is not a joke. And so I saw that he was like, because Art Acevedo, I was following him on Twitter, and he was like, oh, I went to go visit my son. He was at the Laugh Factory or something like that. And I said something like, yeah, he's got a great bit about the Tuttle murders. Like something. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe his son, saw what kind of a career he had and thought, I can be a comedian too.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm not going anywhere near that career path. I'm going to do something way different.
Wait a second. I just Googled Bob Colbert.
Yep.
And in 2016, it talks about him being arrested for extortion. And then I got a story in 2020 saying he's the only candidate running for sheriff. The only candidate is someone who's...
That sounds like you threatened the entire pool. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
Dig
I
into
shouldn't
that,
be
man.
laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing, but I don't know what else to do. This is just unreal.
Yeah. So Art Acevedo, for those of you that don't know, like go on a deep dive on the Tuttle murders in Houston. That was the story that James was talking about, where a bunch of cops got shot and they swore that the homeowners did it, and all the cops shot each other, and all of the chaos, the blue chaos.
Yep.
So
what happens when you raid a home from both the front and the back simultaneously? I mean, come on.
Dude, it was like, did you see that shooting in the mass shooting in the bank where the cop went running across the entire first floor was glass, like nice architect, it was a bank, and it was all glass, and the cops went running across it, and the guy just opened fire and shot one of the cops, and I'm like, listen, I've never been in the military. I'm no tactician, but like,
glass isn't good cover.
Just, yeah.
You're supposed to hide between elementary school kids. Did I say that
Yeah.
out loud?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof. Sorry, Uvalde police.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks for being on. I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate your service. And it's always an honor to have you guys on my panel, man. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Johnny.
No.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Thanks,
awesome.
Johnny.
Awesome. All right.
Good seeing you again. Picture
Cool.
perfect too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too, James. We'll be in touch.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. So, for those asking, this is the little cancer. I'm going to do it this way. Little Popper has got some cancer, skin cancer, that she needs to have surgery on. So, we were at the cancer vet today in Los Angeles. So, Little Popper turns 9 years old. She is a Boston bully. She turns 9 on the 20th, on 4/20. So hopefully there's going to be some good news for her and so forth. And I can't believe the cash cow that these fucking veterinarians, like these, especially, like a cancer specialty vet. And I kind of knew going in that, like, I'm like, this is not going to be, and sure enough, it was, oh, we could do a surgery for her for $5,000. I was like, yeah. So, all right, you guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody. And thanks. Hopefully I'll see you on the weekend. Hopefully I'll be out doing some cop watching here sometime this weekend. So thanks so much. And you guys rock. I love all of you. Oh, yeah. And we're going to be going on the live channel, which is a separate channel. This is the main channel you're watching now. There's a separate live channel that we will be live streaming from. So if you're not subscribed over to the secondary, it's a real tough one, Johnny 50 Live. So yeah, hopefully, let's see. There we go. Put it in there we go. Thank you very much. Genesis beat me to the punch. So yeah, go and subscribe over there, because that's where we're going to be going live from. We'll probably throw something up in the community page here with a link or something saying we're going live, just to remind you guys. But yeah, I don't know when. Maybe Friday night, maybe Saturday night. Let's see if there's any DUI checkpoints and stuff too, and so forth. So, all right. Love you guys. And that's it. We'll see you when you see you.